Jim Jordan smacks Fani Willis upside the head with contempt of court charges. We've got the charges here. We'll read over them all. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. This is yet another smack from left field against Fani Willis. She didn't see coming. She's getting attacked from all sides now. She opened herself up to weakness. Jim Jordan I imagine she's going to get removed from the case before all this gets worked out, just so you know what I think. Not that it matters. Here's the three headlines. Jim Jordan threatens Fani Willis with contempt if she doesn't comply with subpoena in federal funding probe. Jim Jordan, that's Fani Willis, is going to hit Fani Willis with contempt over subpoena on federal grants. That's the Hill. And then here's Fox News Atlanta. House Judiciary Committee threatens DA Fani Willis with contempt. So what are these federal grants? This is money she was supposed to spend in one way, and they have suspicion now to think that she spent it on other things. It could be computers. It could be her own personal grift and money that she paid, or trips that she went on with Nathan Wade. There's a little bit of what Amanda Timpson talked about, where these grants were very specific that the office got, and then they say, like, you can't spend it on computers. They spent it on computers. But remember, all of this was always a political grab. That's the underlying feature of all of this, is that Fani Willis was always in this for politics, not justice.
We know that these were motivated by one thing and one thing only, and that's election interference that's trying to bring Trump down. And on the heels of last night, I think that it's very clear that the American people are seeing it for what it is and are going to stand up and not take it.
Well, are you going to stand there and take it? Is she right that we're not going to stand here and take it anymore? Let me know in the comments below if you're done with this caca and ready to take a stand for America. Here's Rep. Jim Jordan on Twitter. Georgians deserve to know where their federal tax dollars are going, but Fani Willis hasn't produced the documents we subpoenaed. Contempt is on the table. Here's the documents. This is the first document. We're going to read some sections of it just to get you up to speed on it. Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, Committee on the Judiciary. This is from the 14th. To the Honorable Fani Willis, Ms. Willis, the Committee on the Judiciary is continuing its oversight of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, receipt, and the use of federal grant funds issued by the U.S. Department of Justice on February 2nd, 2024. After several attempts to obtain your voluntary compliance with our oversight, the committee issued a subpoena to you. Quote, the subpoena compelled the production of two specific categories of documents. One is the documents and communications relating to the FCDAO's receipt and use of federal funds, and two, the documents and communications referring to and relating to any allegations of the misuse of federal funds by the FCDAO. On February 23rd, you responded to the committee's subpoena with a letter in which you smeared a former employee of yours who spoke about your misuse of federal grant funds. We will not dignify your attacks on this brave whistleblower. I believe that's Ms. Timpson. Your continued attempts to distract from your conduct through misdirection and personal insults. The allegations in the public realm about your misuse of federal grant funding are concerning, and the committee has an obligation to examine them. We appreciate that you have produced a narrow set of documents in response to the subpoena, but your compliance with the subpoena to date is deficient. Attached to your letter were various documents, a number of which were previously produced by the committee that contained, among other things, 15 award letters from the Department of Justice's Office of, discussed above. The committee is prioritizing certain categories of documents as an accommodation. While you have indicated that additional documents may be forthcoming in the response to the committee's subpoena, the committee is yet to receive any additional responsive materials in the 3 weeks since your initial response. Accordingly, the committee expects that you will produce all responsive documents to the subpoena in the categories prioritized by the committee no later than 12 p.m. March 28th. That's in a couple of days. If you fail to do so, the committee will consider taking further action, such as the invocation of contempt of Congress proceedings. Thank you, Jim Jordan. CC, the Honorable Jerry Nadler. I think he ate his document. So that's the brief 2-page letter by Jim Jordan. Here's Alina Habba.
This is all about politics. How does the president feel? I think exactly that way. This is political. There's no place for this in America. DAs and AGs should not be visiting the White House and the administration before bringing complaints against the leading front-running candidate for the Republican Party because Joe Biden can't walk and can't spell Bob backwards.
Is that all this is about? Is that just Joe Biden can't walk, he can't campaign, and he can't debate. So they got to find another way out of it. They got a sick Fani Willis B League. This is the B League against Trump, and it's not working. Well, this is another front where Fani Willis could be held in contempt of Congress by Jim Jordan. I'm rooting for her to not comply so that she gets in even more trouble. Conclusion. Whether this case ends in convictions, acquittals, or something in between, the result should be one that instills confidence in the process. I'm Doug in Exile.